hour and a half, 2 hours from my hometown, Chico. And I love them so much, I want to share them with you guys. And they're from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hi.
And, oh yeah, I'm Katy K, and this is Satellites Sirens.
My name's Geoff. I'm with the band Satellites Sirens.
Well, it's well, we already told us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
It's okay.
That's what I do sometimes.
Tonight was the first band Air One tour. And how long is the tour going to run, and what are some of the cities you will hit?
We are doing 16 dates. Starting here in Rockland, we're playing in a bunch of towns that I'm not sure where they are in California, but do you know them all?
I know a few.
Okay.
Ontario.
Ontario.
I think you're playing one near San Diego.
Yes.
And I know then you go to Arizona. I know you play one in Glendale, Arizona.
Yes. We have a Bakersfield one, Bakersfield, California. Yes, Arizona, Albuquerque, Odessa, Texas, Oklahoma, I think Shawnee, Oklahoma. Now we're playing in Kansas too. Sorry everyone. Now back to the show.
You just released a new album. Where did you record it, and how long did it take to record it?
We released our new album. It probably took us about a month to record, and we recorded it in Nashville, Tennessee. One of our producers named Rusty Varenkamp, he has a studio in his home, so a lot of the stuff we did there. And then also Toby Mac has a studio there called EMAC Studios. It's in Franklin. And we actually tracked drums, bass, and some vocals at his studio.
Sweet. Do you have some favorite songs on the new album?
Yes, I think probably one of my favorite songs is the song Come On. It's an upbeat kind of a dance song, but it's about something super important. It's just about broken homes, and I think sometimes we as Christians don't realize how many broken homes are in the church and how many people are being affected by it, and so it's something that was kind of important to me to talk about. So that song's one of them, and then also the song Breaking the Noise, which is the first song on our record, is one of my favorite songs.
How long have you guys been playing together, and how did you guys all meet?
We have been, the band Satellites Sirens has been a band for about 2 years, but the guys that played tonight, we've only been together about a year. And we actually met through Craigslist. I was actually looking for a band that had some music, and I put a Craigslist ad up, and about 10 guys came to audition, and one of them was our drummer. And so that's how I met him, and our drummer knew our bass player, and our bass player knew our guitar player. So eventually, we ended up the lineup that we are in.
It's awesome. Craigslist does come in handy.
Yes, it does.
What are some bands or musicians that have influenced you guys' sound and you?
Yes, I would have to say one of my all-time favorite bands in the whole world is Satellites. I was gonna say my own band. That's embarrassing. I just embarrassed myself. The band Jimmy Eat World is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. You like them? Yeah. That would probably be one of my favorite bands of all time. I also just really love Switchfoot. I've followed them forever. Love that band. And actually, recently, the newest Jars of Clay record is one of the best records I think I've heard in a long time. So those would be big influences on me. Look at you listen to good music.
Oh, thanks.
I like it.
Play good music, so.
Yes.
What are some pluses and minuses of being on tour? I know being away from home is kind of hard, but...
Yeah, being away from home is tough. Our bass player is married, and so his wife's at home. And, so we definitely, just being away from home and not having that constant place to be is definitely difficult. And it's exhausting too, just kind of going from show to show. And to get out here, we were in starting out in in Wisconsin. We drove to Chicago. We drove from Chicago to Denver. We drove from Denver to Reno, and then from Reno to here. So it took us about 36 hours to get out here. That much driving and lack of sleep and all that kind of stuff, it's wearing for sure. But it's amazing too, because I love being in a different city all the time, and I love seeing and meeting new people all the time. And like last night we actually got to stay in Reno, which was, I've never been to Reno, so it's neat to roll into Reno. We we got online on hotwire.com, and we got a hotel for super cheap, and it was right on the strip, and it was just, it's not something people get to do all the time, to just roll into a new city and kind of hang out there for a little while and then leave the next morning. So it's pretty exciting.
Do you have a favorite song to play live?
Favorite song to play live? I would have to say, I just said this is one of my favorite songs on the record, but the song Come On is probably one of my favorite songs to play live because it's, like I said, a dance song, and people are just going crazy on this. So I love being able to get up there on stage and to see just the group of people, just going up and down, just enjoying themselves with that song. So it's a lot of fun to play for sure.
Do you have a favorite place to perform?
Favorite place to perform? I would have to say this show this evening in Rockland was one of the best shows that I've ever been a part of. So this is definitely now at the top of my list. Shawnee, Oklahoma was another. We just did a tour with Disciple and Decipher Down. That was a fantastic place to play. A ton of kids came out and they just all were having a great time. So that was definitely another favorite place of mine. And Kansas City, I would have to say too, is another area that we've been playing recently and getting a lot of good feedback and a lot of kids sticking on. So.
How did you come up with the band name Satellites Sirens?
Well, satellites are something that send information out, and sirens are something that get people's attention. So I kind of see us as that. We have a message and something to say, and we need to get people's attention and say it.
That's cool. Do you guys normally sit down and write your songs together or separately? Lyrics first or instrumental?
We do things kind of backwards. I do a lot of programming, and so a lot of the times I'll write a musical song and I'll get it like fully programmed with drums and synths and guitars and all that kind of stuff and get the full idea of what I can see in my head down. And then we usually go from there and kind of create lyrics and melody and stuff like that. This record, the guys weren't in the band at the time, so I wrote this record with the producers. But these guys are amazing musicians and amazing creative guys, and so now we're starting to come together as a group and really write together. But now we are still doing it kind of that way, like building music first and then kind of bringing the rest of it afterwards.
At first you're only a whisper in the back of the crowd.